Housing for all, but what housing? Here is a proposal that takes into account quality housing, adapting the size of the accommodation to the lodger, welcoming visitors, activities of the inhabitant, local leisure resources, a sparse use of agricultural land. We will start with a presentation of a housing module that will allow the formation of housing in a strip. Of course, other possibilities exist. The goal is not to make an exhaustive presentation of the habitat. We will start with sketches of this module, then we will see photos illustrating these sketches. Then we will examine the neighborhood facilities of such a habitat to meet its shortages. Finally, we will review various types of adapted urban planning. Here is a vertical overview of the habitat module. The ground floor has a ceiling height of 2 meters 80. We have very good sound insulation at floor level. The floor could be designed with a hip roof or a mansard roof. It is the latter which is selected because it allows a ceiling height of 2 meters 80 over a larger area. Now let us see the plan view of such a module. The dimension of 8 meters by 10 will undoubtedly appear ambitious to a good number of current promoters. The goal is not to subscribe to their principles, but to enact new ones. Between two modules, there is also a very good sound insulation. We have an entrance which gives on the main room and the staircase of the floor. Depending on the type of housing, we will have doors or not. One of the characteristics of this module is to have interchangeable blocks by a partition, a door, or a free passage. This allows a quick modification of the type of accommodation. We will see this aspect in more detail later. We have a kitchen, a storage space, a storeroom, a bathroom, and the main room. Upstairs we have a landing, two main rooms which can have two destinations, either a bedroom or a living room, and finally we have two rooms which also can be either two bathrooms if we are dealing with two guest rooms, or a kitchen and a bathroom if we are in the presence of a two rooms accommodation. Let's move on to the illustrations. Here we have an entrance with doors both to access a studio on the ground floor and a two rooms accommodation upstairs. If a module has two guest bedrooms upstairs, this door is replaced by a free passage, like this, as also in the case of a three rooms accommodation where there is no door either to access the ground floor. We can have different styles. Here are three examples. On the ground floor there is a kitchen, a cellar, a bathroom. In the main room there is a bedroom, either with a Murphy bed, either a canopy bed, which is another way to hide it, either a canopy bed with casters that can be positioned in the room as desired. We can also provide a movable partition. Upstairs you can have either two bedrooms, either a room and a stay. Depending on option, we will have two bathrooms or a bathroom and a kitchen. This will be the case of a two-room accommodation. Finally, at the back of the house, we will have a terrace and a lawn or a vegetable garden, or nothing if we give the vegetable garden to a neighbor. From the garden, we go directly to nature. Let's look at the neighborhood resources. A large dining room that can be divided into modules for residents who organize a private reception, a food warehouse, and various common products, as well as clothing, linen, etc. Specific needs are formulated to managers. A quiet space for studying, reading, writing, avoid the presence of a desk in each accommodation. A more convivial space is also available. Leisure places are available. Gymnasium. We also have a circular amphitheater where dialogue is learned for young people and where the political life of the neighborhood is expressed. We also have a storage space in good condition and not in humid floodlight, poorly lit and smelly cellars, which make up for the lack of space in the accommodation. We are no longer in town planning, but an exceptional transport capacity is ensured with the means of maintenance, in addition to and in conjunction with intermodal means of transport managed at the national level. Here is an example of housing breakdown by size. Here we have the example of 4 strips or a strip of 128 meters cut into 4 to fit on the screen. In each of these bands we have 4 modules as we have defined them, and we will see that they allow all the usual types of housing. On the top strip we have 4 studios on the ground floor, and upstairs from the left we have 2 guest rooms in the first module, then a 2 rooms accommodation, then a 4 rooms accommodation which occupies the floor of 2 modules. For this we have a removable wall block between the 2 modules upstairs which allow passage between these 2 modules. In the second strip, we have 3 rooms accommodation for disabled on 2 modules on the ground floor. For this, we have a removable wall block between the 2 modules on the ground floor, which allow passage between these 2 modules. And on the floor of these 2 modules, we have 2 guest rooms in one and a 2 rooms accommodation in the other. Then we have a 3 rooms accommodation which occupies the whole of the third module, and the fourth module is not yet defined. In the third strip, there is again a 4 rooms accommodation on the floor of 2 modules and a 3 room accommodation on the ground floor of the 2 modules. Finally, we have a 5 rooms accommodation which occupies the ground floor of the last 2 modules as well as the first floor of a module. The floor of the last module can be a choice of 2 guest rooms or a 2 rooms accommodation. In the last strip below, we have a 5 rooms accommodation which occupies the ground floor and the floors of 2 modules, a studio next to the ground floor of the 5 rooms accommodation, and finally 2 modules constitute a 6 rooms accommodation. The advantage of this type of habitat is a fairly simple interchangeability depending on the evolution of the homes or the moves. So actually it can cause moves to keep the coherence of the whole, but it is also an opportunity to carry out maintenance on the renewal of painting, wallpapers or hangings. The evolution of the population means that each year 800,000 studios are needed. Depending on whether young people are founding families, there will be studio liberation and the need for 2, 3, 4 rooms accommodation, etc. Conversely, towards the top of the pyramid, we will witness a reverse evolution for 3 2-rooms accommodation studio and a place in the cemetery. Finally, let's talk about urban planning. We can associate these houses in bands differently, distributed around large hills, centered on large squares. There the leisure sites are located. Over 20 hectares, we comfortably house 1,000 inhabitants. For an idea of the habitat of a current village of 300 inhabitants spreads over nearly 40 hectares in 3 distinct zones, or 130 hectares for 1,000 inhabitants, 50 times more building land than what is proposed. While we are at it, a quick note on the overall housing development policy, which is not directly part of town planning. The location depends on another political choice, the reason for housing here rather than there. Starting from the previous example, which shows the operating autonomy of a district or a village of 1,000 inhabitants, it suffices to rethink 65,000 districts and villages best distributed across the national territory. Of course, not overnight by shaving off the existing, but by answering a few common sense questions and seeing how to change the situation to reach an optimum. For example, what are the needs for presence on such a territory to avoid desertification? What are the production and service needs for the political objectives expressed elsewhere? So where to look at these sites? What are the impacts of transport of goods according to the different scenarios for setting up production and service sites? So model different possibilities of urbanization, etc. Instead of ending up piling up the population in a few megacities of ever more inextricable complexity, making life painful for a very large number for the benefit of a small number, and technologies ready to compromise to justify and allow this piling up. Let us recall the principle of temporary suppression pending confirmation of the viability of this type of society, of the property right, which will greatly facilitate this new management of town planning as well as other areas of activity. After this gap, let's go back to our neighborhood or village town planning. We can have a more For mineral town planning, there is not everywhere natural meadows. You can also use the uneven ground to make accessible terraces. Here is an urbanism with large squares. We can favor the pedestrian walkways or the alleys. In this case, it will be necessary to provide services behind the houses to allow bulky deliveries and moves. We can also provide doors to neutralize the effect of wind or snap. It's up to the people to choose. Of course, we are not going back here either on the importance of education, quality information, and social relations with a spirit of brotherhood so that political choices are coherent. You have to keep in mind that a habitat has a lifespan, because even if we still find castles of the Middle Ages or houses of the 16th century, many have disappeared because of bad weather, fires, wars, lack of maintenance, abandonments, etc. And when technology evolves, it can be more profitable to destroy or dismantle a habitat to rebuild it with better qualities. So even if we now find an ideal type of habitat, we must always remain vigilant and think, and do not restore dogmas.